That's a really low note on your guitar. Holy smokes. What is that?
C sharp.
Low C sharp.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a kind of new guitar. I got it in March of this year. And it was a builder over in England. And so I went over there because he had built me a guitar. And then he brought this second guitar to just have me check it out. So I played the guitar he made for me. And it was like, okay. And then he brought the other one, this one. And I actually chose the guitar he did not make for me to get.
Yeah.
Because it's C sharp to C sharp. It's like the amp going to 11.
Yeah.
Like, not many guitars are C sharp to C sharp.
Yeah. So it's sort of like almost like a baritone instrument, but it's got that low voice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of a low voice, we're both speaking kind of a low voice, aren't we?
Yeah. Why are we doing that?
I don't know why we're doing that. Darrell Scott, welcome back to eTown. So glad you're here. You're right. You've been working hard. You had a gig last night. You've been in the studio all week. You were in the studio today. That's just cranking.
You know, this band, I mean, we got Shad Cobb, Matt Flinner, Bryn Davies. We've done plenty of gigs over the years, but we never got in the studio.
Yeah.
And so we had these weekend of gigs, and I thought instead of going home, back, let's stay and find eTown studios and record for the week, and that's what we've done. And so I was pulling out songs that would fit with this great group that I got.
Now you made a live record with this band at the Station Inn.
Yeah.
And same players, and I've actually had a chance to be on stage with you guys. Amazing. They're all great. They're all amazing players.
Absolutely.
And it's a beautiful thing to have that opportunity to play live and capture that experience, because I know for you, that's where it all makes sense in a way, isn't it? Just being in the moment, being in front of an audience, seeing what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. The moment in a musical way is really what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That actually can happen very much in a studio too, but it definitely happens in live performance, because you just have to. Things change, like our voices, the PA system, how much we had to drink last night, how much sleep we did or didn't get, affects all of that. But that moment, that kind of unknown, that what's next, and you kind of don't know. I mean, you know the arrangement, but I like getting into those unknown places because there's surprises there. The
uncertainty is an advantage if you're going for that musical mystery moment.
Yeah. And to tell you the truth, I think the same is in there with songwriting. It's one thing to have a plan, type of thing, but it's the surprises. It's that third verse that you had no idea that was going to happen. Yeah. That's the good stuff.
So in some ways, both the performance and the songwriting are kind of about listening, right? About being open and seeing what comes in.
Absolutely, and especially with this group, because, we've done gigs, but we've kind of not exactly rehearsed. It's one of those weird things. We go and do shows.
I know that about you, too.
Yeah, you do, don't you? We've done that. And but that's what this week was really great about, was getting down in the studio and really playing together, and it just, I think we made a really good one.
Oh, cool. Well, I can't wait to hear it. It'll be out sometime in the future.
Sometime in the future. Yeah. That's a perfect way to say
it. Because I know, if I know you, you've probably also got 2 or 3 other records cooking, percolating, gestating somewhere.
I do. Yeah. Not even percolating. Sometimes they're actually recorded.
Yeah.
See, here's the problem right now, Nick. It's what do you do with the record after you made it?
Right.
Or 2 of them, or 3, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because the landscape has changed out there, folks, for the old model, Grandpa's model of putting out records,
Yeah.
It's changed. And so, hey, that's cool. Things need to change. But someone just needs to tell me how to do this.
Right.
You got any ideas out there?
Yeah. I think people just need to stop thinking of records as records, and they need to think of them as somewhere between a postcard from a moment in time and a souvenir. So that you just, if you want to go on the journey that you've been on, you're just going to buy the record just like as a souvenir. And they may never open it, they may never play it, they may not have a CD player.
Yeah.
But they're going to just get this thing, and sure, it's going to cost some money, but it's all supporting the thing. And
well, remember we used to call these albums.
Right.
Well, that's not that far from a photo album, which is exactly what you're talking about. Snapshots of here's where we were at this time and all that good stuff.
Just think of it as like a $10 postcard. Okay, 15.
Okay. But it costs more than 15.
Yeah. Okay.
to make it.
Yeah, right. case you just tuned in, you're listening to eTown. I'm here with Darrell Scott, and we're lamenting the fact that the world has changed. But the beautiful thing is, we never did this because of the industry or the output. It was just something you were going to do anyway.
Absolutely.
And so you can't stop, and you won't stop. But
No.
the idea is, the other things, the other irony that I can't help but mention is, like, when you and I were starting out, we had to pay retail for a set of strings. And so how many times did you tie a string together after it broke, or try to figure out a way to make it work?
Or boiled them.
Or boil them,
Yeah.
right, to get a little more life out of them. And then you make a name for yourself, and you get free strings. It's like it should be backwards, right?
I've thought of that so many times. That's funny. We've never talked about that, but that's absolutely true. When you need the free guitars or the free strings is at the beginning.
At the beginning,
not
yeah.
at the end. You
Yeah.
could go buy your strings then. Right?
Exactly. Oh, but only if people buy the CDs. So they have to start with that. Keep buying the CDs. We'll keep buying the strings. Listen, speaking of buying, you bought yourself a big old farm in Tennessee, right?
Yes, I did.
Chickens, pigs. What do you got going on?
Goats, lambs, cattle, and organic gardening. And the good news is it's not me doing all that, right? I'm the landowner, but that's one of these things this is part of the new world too,
Yeah.
of people who own land, and then there's young people who love farming and growing and all that good stuff, but they don't have land, so this is kind of a new type of deal too. So we're working on that. I have an amazing farm manager, young dude, who's just great at it, and we're figuring this out. There's not exactly a blueprint for this.
Yeah. And is it a bunch of land? How much land do you have?
Over 500 acres.
Yeah.
So it's like a state park is what it feels like. And then, yes, there's 4 pastures, probably, 75, 80 acres of pasture.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's going to keep that young guy busy.
Yeah, it has so far, very much. And we have great foods. The cleanest meats I can get my hands on. I can't get better meat than what we grow, and vegetables and fruits and all that stuff. I can't, and I'm a cook-minded person, and I can't get better ingredients. This is the good stuff.
That's cool. And I know we've featured one of your neighbors on this show on eTown, Hippie Jack.
Yeah.
Doesn't live far from you.
Yeah, he's my next-door neighbor.
And he's been doing some great stuff in the community, and I know working with you. In rural Tennessee, do you think sort of respecting the land and taking care of nature and all that stuff, is that a natural instinct, or are you more conservation-minded than some of those around you?
Definitely, we're more conservation-minded.
Yeah.
It's really the story of not just Tennessee, but farms across this country. They changed the family farm. What is that anymore? Almost, where it was 80 years ago or so. Many family farms. So the growing changed, the soils changed, the need for commercial fertilizer changed, and now we're just trying to, in essence, heal the land of ours that had all of that stuff. Go down to the co-op to get your chemicals and throw that onto your soil, and we're totally about the cow poop and all that stuff. So we're the oddballs, definitely, in our area.
Do people look at you that way?
Not really. When we go down, we get great support from our local USDA type of office and stuff, and we've got good support from them, and have been eligible for certain grants or things like that help out our farm. Like, for example, we recently got water to all of our fields. So I mentioned those 4 pastures. Well, none of them had water. And just in the last 3 months, we've got 7,000 feet of water line going to 4 fields, so we can irrigate, the plants, the fields, and bring water to the animals. We're in any of those fields, and that's cool. Huge deal.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that you're thinking about all that stuff. Now, I should mention that you are an unstructured dude in your career. You are not a guy who likes to fall into one little category. You've been a writer, you've been a touring person. You could take a year or 2 off if you want, and have. Sometimes you're in Zach Brown's band, and you're in that whole machine, just buses and trucks and doing all that. Or you're in Robert Plant's band, traveling around doing that stuff. You must like the variety.
I do. Yeah. I do like the variety. I don't want to eat at the same Indian restaurant every night.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. And I do like variety, but also I have a big listener. I know you are too. There's a big world of music out there, and all kinds of different ways of playing music.
Yeah.
Harmony, songs, styles, all that good stuff.
Yeah. All right, well, quick, before we get back to music, advice for young singers and players?
Wow. Tell the truth. Tell your truth. Whatever that is, we need it. We need your truth-telling. No need to copy the marketplace. There's plenty of that going on. Tell your personal truth, please.
Yeah.
Please.
But you have also, just by playing a Joni Mitchell song, you've done the homework of learning what came before and studying the masters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And developing your language and your repertoire so you can tell the truth.
Yeah, that was definitely part of it.
Do the work.
It's like Pete Seeger said, how do you become a great artist or writer or whatever? He said, learn 10,000 songs of somebody else's.
Yeah.
And that's a great blueprint. And yeah, I did that. Yeah, I learned a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. Lastly, I just want to thank you because I know we're about to learn more about our Achievement Award this week, but you were the one who submitted that story and sent the info in, and so I look forward to learning more about all that, and thank you for doing that.
My pleasure. You'll see that Becca is a rock star. She's when you ask, like, hey, do I have somebody to suggest, Becca came right up to the top. I mean, I've been admiring Becca Stevens for 28-something years, something like that, and her husband, Marcus Hummon, is one of my dear friends on this planet, and they're both in the house tonight.
Okay, well, we'll find out more soon. Meanwhile, we're going to get back to music. Thanks, Darrell.
Thank you.
Would you help me welcome back to the stage Darrell Scott and his Bluegrass Band?
Paradise fell and the tenements grew. The tenements grew.
Hi, this is Nick Forster from eTown. If you want to stay up to date with all the performances, interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage, click the subscribe button. Thanks.